Page 11, Harmonic Blues. On page 10, they cover intervals, namely the interval of a sixth. It doesn't matter what the interval is, as long as you know how to figure out intervals, you got it. Just the idea here is that we've been in a nice, neat five-finger position in various places. Well, when you get to an interval of a sixth, you have to spread it out a little bit, because a fifth is here, and that's fifth, but a sixth is one more, so you got to spread out a little bit. And the way we do this in piano, one of the ways, is the little finger might need to cover two notes. It can be here or here, whichever. Another way of doing it is sometimes the thumb has to cover two notes. So the outside fingers may have to cover two notes from time to time. Or, you know, another, it may have to, you're not moving the hand, you're just moving the finger. And the outside fingers is all. That's one of the ways to do it. It's not the way I recommend here. That's what they want you to do. No. I mean, I know we're still in the beginning stages here, and that's a beginner's fingering, but I'm going to challenge a little bit on the fingering. I adjust fingerings in these lessons all the time. No big deal. But on page 10, on the second, you can see on the intervals, you can do the intervals. If you have any questions on it, feel free to ask. But I want to talk about this harmonic blues things. 4/4 time, so there's 4 counts in a measure, and a quarter note gets a count. Now we have one sharp in the key signature. See the sharp between the clef sign, that's the key signature. In the past it's been empty for C major. Now it's G major. G major. Does it say that? I'm telling you, it's G major. Now you need to go find my scale video on G major and do the beginner portion of that. Learn that scale. Yeah. Let's take it one head at a time. I have some suggestions here. We're starting to get out of this five-finger positions now that we're going into an interval of a sixth. We're going to start getting out of that. You'll always have a five-finger position from time to time. It just won't be a lot. Right hand, when it comes in, you're in this position to start, but we're going to use the second finger for the A sharp here. But the position is here because there's no A sharp in the key signature. It's here. But we're going to use the A sharp here, so it's here. See, I only leave the index finger on the A sharp long enough to play it, and then I come back down here. And then for the second line, I want you to cross over to here. I'm going to suggest a little more advanced fingering here. I'm going to start getting you into more advanced fingerings. On this one, rather than going from the end of the first line to the second, the 2 G's here, I'm going to suggest that for the 2 G's, we change hand position. Remember I said earlier on a video, we take advantage of repeated notes to change hand positions? Well, you have 2 G's at the end of the first line. So I'm going to do the first G with the thumb and then the second G with second finger. Now I can do the F natural with the thumb. I don't have to cross over. And the fingering style that I teach, the one that I learned in college, the one that I use the most, there's different fingering styles, okay, is I don't move my hand any more than I have to. I don't cross over the thumb any more than I have to. So here, I don't need to cross over the thumb. So it's a 1, 2. Then during the rest, you can come down. And we're in this position with D sharp here. It's the same melody as we had first time, it's just different notes. Except now that's tied. The E at the end of the second line is tied. You're going to hold that down for 4 counts. And then you lift up on the rest. During the rest, you come up. Now here, instead of a 5-finger, we have a B and a D, where this is a 6th, remember? So now the little fingers come up. So it's, and that's fine. 1, 5, rest. And then the last line, just bring the thumb down here. Now we're in this position. And stay here. For the last 2 measures is here. And those are F naturals. Remember there's an F sharp in the key signature, so all the F's are sharped? Well, they give you a natural here, and that applies for the rest of the measures. So both of those F's are natural. Here, yeah. Left hand, we'll bunch up. half notes mainly, but I want to change the fingering a little bit. You're going to see this kind of a pattern a lot. When it goes back and forth, no. Use the second finger on the lower one here. So instead of this position, I'm in this position. These fingers are here, and these fingers are wherever. I mean, you just let them rest. You don't have to put them on any particular keys, but these are the fingers I'm after. So I'm going to use here and then thumb. And then in the second line, after the first is 1, 2, during the rest you come up here. Again, 5, 2 for the G's, not 5, 1. So I can do that. And then in the third line, 1, 2, 3, rest. Now that's third finger. We're sort of in this position. And that's tied. Hold it down for 4 counts, and during the rest, come down to this position, third finger. And during the rest, come back down, but 5, 2, not 5, 1. So you can do that. Put the hands together. Starting in the third measure, where they do play, you're here. And during the rest, both hands come down. You can do it one hand at a time real quick, or both hands together. That's entirely up to you, but both hands come down. You'll have to look at the keyboard for that. Here. Get it? Now go down to the third line. You're here, and here, and that's tied, and the right hand's up here. As you play the last note in the right hand, the left hand comes up. And that's tied. And then come up and then down. The last two measures, the left hand's tied. So, we'll just hold it down. So go through and get the hands working together, and then get rid of the hesitations. And then we'll add in as far as the articulation goes, you're just connecting pretty much everything. You lift up for the rest. All right, big deal. Dynamics, it applies to the right hand for the most part. The left hand gets some quarter notes in the third line, and you can bring those out. But otherwise, the left hand needs to be in the background. So this moderately loud. If you're going to do moderately loud here, in the third measure, you got to come down to soft. All of a sudden, because it's the right hand we want moderately loud, not here. This is soft. So there's a couple of ways of doing this, and it's interpretation. You can go moderately loud at the beginning, and then all of a sudden soft, if you can. That's hard to do. Another way is to decrescendo. Put in a diminuendo there and go down to soft. Start moderately loud, a little softer, a little softer, a little softer. And by the time you get to third measure, you're soft. So the right hand can be moderately loud. You get the idea. And the whole thing is more or less at that level. Once you get to know it and you start feeling it, you can get a little louder, softer as you feel it, but you're in that area of the moderately loud for the melody. Now on the third line, the second measure, that's melody too. And then bring it down here. And a retardando toward the end, slow down. And the hairpin to get softer, you're going to hear moderately loud, down to soft. Here, you're dying away. That's my impression of it. You need to feel the dynamics. You can do the dynamics as you see fit, but that's what I think this should be. Speed, moderate blues tempo. Just a moderate tempo. It's bluesy because of the feel and the harmony, the accidentals makes it feel bluesy. Yeah, just moderate. Now they've added pedal at the end. Again, I totally disagree with that. I would not use pedal on those measures, and I recommend you don't. Just don't. We don't need the overtones at the end like that. If you do want to use it, it's up to you. You push it down right after you play the notes and leave it down. But I think that, I mean, it alters it. It's a contrast to what you've had before, and maybe that's what you want. And if it is, then by all means use the pedal, just for those two measures. But I generally don't change the feeling at the end like that. So I would not use pedal on this. Now a little bit about harmonic. This says Harmonic Blues. Remember, we have melodic and harmonic intervals. Harmonic is when they're played together, or when you can hear them at the same time. So this in the left hand, these intervals, the 5th and the 6th, those are harmonic. So Harmonic Blues just has to do with that. Okay, as long as you understand the word harmonic is at the same time. Now this is a good exercise in lifting one hand and not the other. Because in the left hand, you have to lift up for the chords. There's going to be a little silence between them. Keep it as short as possible, but there's still going to be. In the left hand, you're going to connect it. As best you can. So can you, like in the 3rd measure, going to the next measure, can you connect this and lift this? So you got to lift this because you got to change the chord. You're going to connect that. Lift in the left hand but not the right. This is a good exercise in the independence of the hands. We need that. So yeah, don't lift both hands. No, please don't do that. Connect the right hand all the way through. You're just lifting in the left hand. I'd like to play it with you slowly. Let's check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. I'm going to play both hands about the same. We're not performing it, we're just checking for notes and rhythms. This is after you've learned it, and you can play it with no hesitations. Then try playing it with me. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Rest. 1, 2, 3, rest.